and welcome back to the Business Real Talk. Today, we're going to talk about how to turn your leads into a hell yes by positioning yourself as the only solution. Now, one of the biggest factors we see when it comes to marketing your business is feeling like there's a mismatch between your audience buying and what you're offering. So today, we're going to talk all about it and how to stop being optional to your prospects every single step of the way in your client acquisition. So you can get the results like myself and my clients are, where we're turning content into hand-raising lead machines, or how you can actually get people instantly hooked and saying yes. Where have you been all my life on sales calls, all the way to being able to turn evergreen into $50,000 to $200,000 months without using scarcity tactics or fake urgency. So we've all felt this at some point in our business. You feel like you're dragging leads to a yes, and maybe you're spending hours on sales conversations with potential clients, and they seem really interested, but they never actually end up taking action, nonetheless buying from you. And maybe you're spending money on ads and you're filling your list and your group with new leads, but when you go share your offer, it feels like maybe people disappear and you're not really sure what's happening. The reality is you need a system that moves people to a hell yes simply and strategically. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can do this without adding more pieces or steps into your current client acquisition process. But who am I to be sharing all of this with you? Again, my name is Echeverria. I am your business real talk strategist and 18-year marketing expert. I help expert businesses turn their message into a movement so that they can get their leads to sell themselves using the Netflix effect. So let's jump in. Creating and understanding a hell yes pathway means that we need to be able to understand why it feels like you're currently dragging your leads in the first place. Now, the reality of it is that you've been told that it's a numbers game. So maybe you and your team are hustling to fill your space with more leads, and it's working kind of, sort of, but nothing that you really feel like you can write home about. And heck, you're starting to wonder how you're actually going to be able to keep up with this without burning you out or your team out in the process. And maybe instead you've heard that it's an offer problem. So you stuff more value into your offers, maybe another bonus, maybe another call, or you create an offer stack that helps lure people into working with you. But the reality is that $97 offer isn't any easier to sell than your $3,000 offer. And it's only forcing you to try and sell twice, once to get them into the $97 offer, and then again to get them into the next one. Real talk, getting more people to a hell yes isn't actually about adding things to your process. It's much simpler than that. And it's actually about subtracting things out of the process so that you can create a straight line to a yes. So here's what we need to talk about. So client acquisition ultimately comes down to the understanding that we're just trying to connect two people, you and your prospect. When we can connect those two people together, it creates a hell yes. Maybe that sounds overly simple, but let me share with you what that actually comes down to. When we can connect you to your prospective client, we create an instant movement towards being able to say hell yes. But what it starts with is understanding how to actually position every step of that process so that our audience can feel really confident in saying yes. So in order for us to understand that hell yes positioning, we need to understand that there's two core components that achieve this. Number one is what I call intent alignment. Now, a quick way to understand this is a few months ago, I found my kids fighting. Both of them wanted the same thing. They wanted to be able to go and watch a movie in the theater. But one kid was over here talking about why she worked really hard and she was tired and she wanted to relax. And the other kid was over here complaining about how he never gets anything he wants. It was an all-out war. The interesting thing was they were speaking two different languages, but they both wanted the ultimate same result, which was to go to the movies and watch the new Minions movie. Now, that's what we call an intent mismatch, meaning that the thing one person wanted wasn't connecting to the thing that you wanted, meaning that you're creating a friction instead of creating action. And we see this all the time in business owners. Their prospects are thinking about the result they want, and yet you as a business owner are over here shouting about your features, your benefits, and the modules in your program, and your audience is just glossed over, scrolling on because they don't actually see the need for what you're sharing. So, what you need to do in order to shift out of this is you need to understand the intent that your prospective client comes into your world with. Understanding that and recognizing the result they want to create means that you can easily tap into understanding that intent and create a direct line to how you support them in achieving that. That means that now you're connecting back to a deep need that they have without feeling like you're just preaching to a choir that isn't even listening. When we are able to do this, it creates instant action. It's like ice cream on a hot day. There's no question, there's no hesitation. They know that they have a need and they come running to get it. So, having intent alignment allows you to tap into their needs and desires and really be able to create a straight path to you as the solution to that need. Now, the second piece of the puzzle is realizing that right now, your audience is inundated with information. I say this all the time, but the reality of it is every single person on social media, whether they're watching TV, the radio, anywhere we go, we're bombarded with information. It's the information age. And your audience can't keep track of what they're doing or what they shouldn't be doing. And heck, they can't even remember why they're doing the things they're doing right now, except for the fact that some guru told them that that's what they needed to be doing. They're tapped out. What we need to be able to do is support them in really clearly being able to understand how they can solve their problem in a way that nobody else can. How do we do this? We leverage what we call belief shifting paired with innovative positioning. Innovative positioning allows you to quiet the noise in the online space. We know that right now competition is fierce. The online space is becoming more and more saturated. And while most people feels like that means they're going to have to fight harder for attention, what you really needed to be able to do is understand how you can actually create demand instead of chasing it. When you can be positioned in the marketplace in a way that is totally innovative to any other solution, then competition becomes irrelevant because you're no longer fighting for attention. You're creating a demand that didn't exist before. This allows you to remove as many barriers as possible and help your audience recognize and see you as the only solution, making it a straight path to a hell yes. So, how do we actually go about doing this? We remove competition out of our way by positioning you in a way that really does make you the only solution. The fastest and easiest way for you to be able to do this is to understand the gap. Knowing that there's other solutions out there, probably hundreds of thousands of other people talking about the same thing, we need to recognize and understand that there's a gap in the marketplace. There's a reason other solutions haven't worked, or maybe there's a missing piece that when solved helps your clients get better, faster, or longer results. So when we can understand this, we can identify a gap and therefore be able to innovate that gap with your solution. This means that you no longer have to compete. That competition becomes irrelevant. It's like putting on noise canceling headphones at a loud Kiss concert because there's no need for us to push and sway them. They understand clearly and effectively how you solve their problem in a way that nobody else can. So understanding those two core components allows us to create innovative positioning that creates demand. A great way to see this in action is understanding that in the 1980s, Dr. Robert Atkins, the founder of the Atkins diet, came into a saturated weight loss space. And at that time, weight loss was consistently being taught as either being low fat or low calorie. Now, Robert Atkins had the choice to either try and compete for market space, having to shout louder than the others and gain attention, which would only lead to having to increase the amount of energy or money spent on marketing, or he had the opportunity to identify where a gap in the market was. This is exactly what he did. What he realized was that with current low fat, low calorie diets, there was a gap. And the gap was that people were never satiated. They always felt hungry with those diets. And that resulted in people not being able to stick to their weight loss goals long term. As a result, he identified the gap in the marketplace being that people never felt satiated and they always felt like they couldn't stick to it. And he identified that gap and spoke to that gap with his solution, being able to share the Atkins diet in a way that really spoke to people, sharing that they could actually enjoy the foods they love, which ultimately meant that they could lose weight faster without being hungry and stick to it. This allowed him to revolutionize revolutionize the weight loss industry and create demand in a marketplace that was overly saturated. Solving for the gap in the marketplace with an innovative solution allows you to do the same thing within your market space, whether you're working in health or wellness, business coaching, or even the parenting space. We've seen this work over and over again in order to be able to create an innovative solution in an otherwise saturated space. So next, we want to talk about the formula that moves your leads to an ultimate hell yes, without spamming people's DMs or forcing your offer down their throat. Now, we talked about the fact that positioning is something that really allows people to make it feel like a no-brainer. And ultimately, it creates a relationship between you and them. We understand that this is a connection between those two things. But how do we actually go about leveraging this? This is what we call that hell yes positioning. And it starts by understanding how to use some form of this formula every step of your client acquisition process. That formula is doing X will help you achieve Y. Whether this is trying to get your kids to eat their vegetable or trying to get your audience to book a call with you, the same rules apply. So using the incentive bridge, I want you to understand that you can get your clients, your kids, anyone to do what you want without pressure or force. So an example of this, we want our kids to eat their vegetables. Now, we have one option of leveraging force, which means you just have to eat your vegetables, pushing them in a way that creates pressure. We do this in business the same way we do it with our children. Option number 2 is we position the value for us. This means that when I'm sharing with my kids why they should eat their vegetables, I'm saying because it's full of vitamins and minerals. Again, this is what I see happening so often in the business space. They're focusing on the feature or the value that they see as important, but it doesn't necessarily match with their prospective client sees as important, or in this case, what your child sees as important. Now, the third option is the incentive bridge, being able to understand what incentive they have in doing the thing you want them to do. So using our child eating vegetables as an example, we would say something like, you want to eat your vegetables. It's what makes you big and strong so you can climb the monkey bars even faster. And trust me, I just tested this with my child and she ran to eat her vegetables because she wanted to be able to climb those monkey bars faster. The reason this works so well is we're creating an incentive that directly speaks to the need they have and bridges it to the action we want them to take. Additional examples of this is maybe you want people to join your community or follow you. Instead of simply saying, join my community, you need to create an incentive bridge that makes it exciting for them. Join my community where I'll give you simplified marketing strategies you can implement today to get more high-paying clients. There's a value add in it for them that makes them feel like they want to take the action you're asking them to do. Another example is you want someone to book a call with you. Instead of simply using the call to action of book a call, a copywriter might say something like, book a copy audit call with me, and I'll show you how you can improve it to get higher conversions on your next post. And then I'll share with you how my method can help you create high converting content in just an hour a week. I've effectively gotten them to take the action of booking a call, but making it where it's incentivizing them because they're going to get something out of it. This happens every step of the way within our client acquisition process. When we can create an incentive bridge from what action we want them to take to what's in it for them, they're able to move themselves into action, and it's a natural progression of where they want to go. I recently had a client come to me and she was spending thousands of dollars on ads. She had a large team and her business was successfully bringing in new leads every single day. The problem was her team was getting burnt out. Her ad costs were on the rise, and she was just spending so much time on creating more content, creating more offers, and just simply trying to consistently solve the problem in the marketplace. Now, what we were able to do was identify that there was a mismatch between what her audience wanted and what she was able to support them in doing. No amount of offers, no amount of her showing up was going to solve that if she continued to use the played out numbers game of pushing her team and running ads to do more. She couldn't keep up with the process and she felt like something was missing. Identifying the fact that we were missing an incentive bridge when people joined into her Facebook group and moving them to actually book a call with her allowed us to quickly get her leads leads to booking in and ultimately converting into a client. Means that we shortcutted the entire sales process, but increased her conversions in less time. And this is why I'm so passionate about my Easy Yes method. This is exactly what we focus on in creating an intention alignment using the incentive bridge to convert every step into an easy hell yes. Now, here's what it boils down to inside the Easy Yes method. Number one is what we call innovative methodology. Having that innovative positioning is so valuable because we create instant demand and massive authority in our space. So there's two things that go into innovative authority. Number one is being able to create what we call high intent messaging. High intent messaging means that we're speaking to people who already know they want to solve their problem. So we don't feel like we're pushing leads every step of the way. We're attracting high quality sales ready leads who want to say yes. Now, step two is knowing how to position yourself and your solution as the innovative solution they can't wait to say yes to. We do this using our innovative gap methodology. We identify the gap in the marketplace and how you can solve for this gap in a way that nobody else can. This creates inbound demand and positions you as the only solution for your audience. This step alone allows my clients to 5 to 10x their price point, and clients are happily lining up to pay them because they can clearly identify how they help them in a way that nobody else can. Now, step two is what we call my bingeable authority system. It's no secret that attention spans are shorter than ever right now. And the reality is that getting people to say yes means that we have to be able to understand how people make decisions in the first place. So rather than churn out content, create another workshop, do all the things that we think we need to, we leverage an evergreen client acquisition system that focuses on mimicking how people naturally make decisions. Because if we can answer all the questions they have that they're naturally going through, allowing them to effectively sell themselves on working with you without you doing all the heavy lifting. When we use my mimic decision-making technique combined with my bingeable Netflix style series, we move them to selling themselves so that they're a hell yes within a matter of hours or days, not months and months. Now, the third and final piece is what we call results and retention. Now, here's the reality. Everyone is teaching irresistible offers, and they're trying to force you to just really become the expert marketer. At the end of the day, what's going to be able to create sustainability in your business is if you can actually deliver results to your clients at scale. Using our results and retention process, we focus on two core factors. Number one is creating a scalable offer that not only delivers world-class results to your clients one-on-one, but allows you to do that at scale without losing the power of what you do individually with your clients. Meaning your clients are walking away with world-class results that they can't wait to share with everyone else out there. We also use a consistent results mechanism. These are simply put a way for you to be able to support your clients in getting better and faster results without needing so much of you. We connect those pieces together to allow you to create a retention process that has clients staying with you long-term because they know that what you do is so valuable. This is why my Easy Yes method has worked for over 400 coaches, consultants, and expert business owners over the last 11 years. If you want to be able to finally have a system and a way to have hell yes clients raising their hands, saying, I can't wait to work with you, I want to invite you to check out our free mini series over at easyesleads.com. You'll see exactly how this system works to create easy yeses with your clients. And if you want to skip to the front of the line and see how we can actually help you apply this to your business, be sure to book your free blueprint call with me personally at easyesleads.com/call. And if you enjoyed what I shared with you here today, we'd love if you could share this with a friend that may find value in it, as well as make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on our next episode. And until next time, thank you so much for being with us today, learning all about the hell yes positioning. And thanks for keeping it real.